Welcome back to my next lesson in Vedic Astrology. Today I am going to speak to you about the top 8 facts on planet Saturn. Let's begin with fact number 1. Fact number 1 is that Saturn is always connected to darkness, the inability to see what's coming up. So, how do we remember this fact? Have a look at the Vedic Horoscope. You may recall that the Sun owns this house, and just opposite 180 degrees away, Saturn owns this house. Saturn has its Mula Trikona in this house. From this you can see that because the Sun is the source of light, and therefore opposite of that condition is darkness. So Saturn represents darkness. Where the Sun is exalted, Saturn gets debilitated, and conversely where the Saturn is exalted, the Sun is debilitated. Even in familiar situations, familiar surroundings, darkness means a lot. It can give you a lot of troubles. It can get you may miss a step, you may fall down. So many things can happen. Just imagine if you're going through places that you're unfamiliar with, and in life, we go through one situation only once in our lifetime because there's no rehearsal. Fact 2. Saturn is called Shanishchara, meaning the slow one. That's because Saturn goes round, makes one full circle around these 12 signs of the zodiac. Once in approximately 30 years, comes very close to 30 years. It's 29.46 years. And that makes it the slowest next to Rahu Ketu. And so therefore, Saturn is always associated with those things that are slow. Slow frustrates us most of the times. We want everything to go fast. Computers, cars, electronics, mobile phones. As soon as we call someone, they should pick up the phone quickly. So we all hate slow, delay, things getting postponed. We want it right now, right here. And that is what human beings like. And Saturn somehow seems to be just the opposite. It slows you down. With the slow comes a lot of things. Diseases that just don't go away, chronic diseases. Very slow to healing, takes a lot of time. Fractures, you can't heal a fracture quickly, it takes time. So anything that takes time, or any problem that takes long time to solve, is always associated with Shanishchara, with Saturn. Fact 3. Saturn represents the blocks. The blocks can be anywhere. They can be blocks inside the body or outside of us. So within our body we have the possibility of Saturn giving rise to stones in the kidney, blocking the water or the urine, and we have possibilities of constipation, the possibilities of piles, fistula, fissures, and possibility of blocks in the heart, etc. Now this is mainly because Saturn is the blocking planet. On the road it represents the stones. What Saturn always does by just putting an obstacle in front of you, maybe small, maybe big, the main purpose is to slow down your speed. So this is also basically an extension of the slow, but there's a big difference between obstacles and the fact 2 and fact 3, because in fact 3 you find that the obstacle comes all of a sudden and takes us by surprise. So that is the most important aspect. Now Saturn, whenever it affects you in certain ways, you can't even know what's coming up and it suddenly happens. You've been driving a car very fast and then all of a sudden you hit an object, and let's say a stone, a small piece of rock, and then your car topples. So these are things that are associated with Saturn. Now fact 4 is Saturn does not work all the time, at all times. Saturn has got some specific time intervals when it is likely to express or manifest our past life deeds into an event, and that does not happen all the time without rhyme and reason. It always happens on a particular time. Now that time can be understood like this. It happens usually on 8th, on 17th or 26th of the English calendar, and then it can also be a Saturday because Saturday belongs to Saturn. And it can also happen during the 3 stars of Saturn, which is Pushyami or Pushya, the 8th star, or the 17th star Anuradha, or the 26th star Uttarabhadra. So apart from this, the months of Saturn are Jan 15th to March 15th, which is called the Saturn months. And the small time intervals, one fortnight when the sun moves over Pushya, then Anuradha and Uttarabhadra. Never does a Saturn related event happen outside of these time frames, so you don't have to worry about Saturn all the time. The world has seen at least 40 earthquakes that happened on 26th. This is just for example. You can do your own research and find out how many extraordinary catastrophes have happened during 8th, 17th and 26th. Fact number 5 is that Saturn always operates through those things that begin with the words, that begin with the letter P, as in pain or poverty, and the other letter is F, as in faith or fire. So P and F are related to Saturn. That's because Saturn rules number 8, and F and P in English numerology has been assigned the value of 8. Those people who get into trouble, that is indicated by Saturn, always will notice that the thing that bothered them, that affected them, that caused the problems to them, always started with either P or F. Fact number 6 is that Saturn rules the bone and joints, the teeth and the hair. We know this because Saturn rules all those things that last for a very long time, persist for a very long time. For example, if the human body is buried, then what survives for the longest period of time is obviously the skeleton, the teeth and the hair. During a troublesome Saturn period, many people get into trouble in this particular area. The joints, usually they have a knee problem, arthritis, they have a fracture on the knee, the shin, on the feet, and sometimes the whole leg, and they get into trouble with the teeth, for example root canal treatment, extraction of the tooth, and problem with the hair fall, premature hair falling, or maybe dandruff, or any of these ailments. Fact number 7 is that Saturn does not trouble us all the time, except when you are going through a phase called 7.5 years Saturn, or a phase called Ashtama Shani, that is the 8th house transit of Saturn from your moon sign, or whenever you are going through a bad Saturn Dasha or a Saturn Bhukti, and that is not all the time, only if Saturn is malefic, has been afflicted, and especially when Saturn is occupying the 8th house or the 12th house. Fact number 8 about Saturn is that Saturn is actually not bad. It's only a tough taskmaster, a tough teacher who wants to make you learn your lessons for whatever you have done in your past life. So that means if you are willing to learn and if you are looking for guidance, Saturn is ready to offer that, and the fee for receiving such guidance is that you take care of Saturn's people and things and animals, etc. So one of them is the crow, and you can take care of physically challenged and mentally challenged people, and you can also look at helping poverty-stricken people, People are totally helpless, terminally ill, old age homes, orphanages, and by making such payments towards human beings or the suffering animals in the world, then you stand a great chance of converting a negative Saturn into a positive Saturn. And that means Saturn will easily respond to social service activities, and provided you do not enjoy on Saturdays, instead focus on the suffering in this world. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any doubts, please type them out in the comment section, and whenever I find the time, I'll answer them for you.